Well, hi everyone. This is going to be done ahead of time before we meet for the Orizomegami. Let me say that again. Orizomegami. So that is the Japanese folding and dyeing of paper. So in your grab and gather bag, you should have some paper and it'll look like this. And I'm going to show you two different ways that you can fold it. Okay. So you're going to take it this way. You can see that. And actually just fold it in half. So I'll show you on the camera in just a second. Fold it in half. And then fold it in half again. Right to the middle fold where we were. And if it's not exactly lined up, it's okay. It's all right. But the more lined up it is, the better. And then you're going to unfold it. And then you're going to fold to that fold. Now, this is very thin paper that should dye, and we're going to accordion fold it. So you're going to keep flipping it over and back and keep folding it over. I'm pressing down nice and neat so that you actually get a decent fold. Then we're going to dye the paper, and you want that to be nice and crisp so that you get your edges. And that's okay if you have a little bit left over, like it's not totally even. You can kind of tell it's not quite even. So there's two different ways that we can fold it. I'm going to show you one to begin with, and that is a square. So you're just going to go up about an inch or so, and then you can just, again, you want to accordion fold that, which means that flipping it back and forth, flipping over your paper, making sure things line up as well as you can. And you're just making squares here. So you'll actually be able to dip this into our water and our dye, which I will show you how to do in a minute. I thought we would get the folding part done first. So now you're going to have 4 different corners that you can fold that with, or dip that in with. And then you're going to take your other paper, do the same thing, fold it in half. Just try to make sure it's lined up. I'll bring it up onto the camera in just a second. I got to get a little closer to it. And then fold it in half again. And then again, you're going to do that accordion fold. You're going to go right to the line. That same way, that back and forth way that you're doing the paper folding it. You're going to first make a strip. And you just keep going, making sure you press your creases, make those really good. So you want to press down. And on this one, we had a little bit less at that last one, if you can see. A little bit less. It's not quite, it doesn't quite line up, but that's okay. So then you're going to take the paper, and this time, I'm going to turn it over. I like the smoother edge. This time, you're going to take this corner and fold it up into and make a triangle. So you're going to go along the edge of the paper. And then you're going to turn it over, and you're going to make this a triangle also. So do you see that? I'll do that again. You have your paper, you fold it up, make a corner, make your creases really good, make triangles. And then you're going to flip it over, and you can just keep going like that. Now that you have your triangle shape, you just keep going along. And that's that accordion fold thing again, where it goes every other way. And you want to keep flipping your paper over and making your triangles. And it might not quite line up right, and that is okay. Realize it's going to be for your cover of your journal that we're going to make together. And you can you can practice. We gave you a few sheets in there that you can practice with. And then you see the end, it didn't kind of fold perfect, but that's okay. You can just fold that little end in. All right, now we're going to take our tray here and you will be given a couple food colorings. Now, if you have food coloring at home, you can use your own food coloring. It is not a problem. You're going to set your papers aside. And you can do this. You can get your tray ready. You're just going to need a muffin tin and some cold water or tap water. It doesn't matter if it's cold or hot. And then what you want to do is you want to decide what colors you want to do, what colors you want to dye. So I'm just going to take some yellow and put like 3 or 4 drops in there. And then I'm going to take the blue and do the same thing. Just 3 or 4 drops just to get the right color. And we're going to test that. So I'm going to do green and then I'm going to do red. Now you can let that sit there like that. And if it's not exactly mixed up, you can actually take, Miss Karen's looking for something. Hang on. Well, right today, I'm just going to use my finger, okay? But you can just take like a coffee stir or a spoon, whatever you want at home, or you can even use your finger. It is not gonna, it's not a big deal to use your finger to mix up your colors. So then we can decide whatever colors you want to make in the last two. You can make. I'm gonna do a purple, so I think I'm gonna do some red. A couple drops of red, and then like maybe one of the blue, and see how that turns out. And then I'm going to do an orange. So I'm going to stick some yellow in and a little bit of red. I kind of like orange and purple. So, and you can just do a solid color if you prefer. That's up to you what you want to do. Like I said, Miss Karen's literally just using her finger to mix them up. And so then what I suggest you do is just get some paper toweling, just a little bit. You don't really need a whole lot. You just kind of want to dip it in your colors and go, oh, that's a pretty good yellow. Let's see. Oh, that blue looks pretty good. And then you can just like fold it and stick it in your green. Oh, that looks pretty good. And then that red looks nice and great. And if you really want, you can actually do this with paper toweling. You're not going to be able to make a journal cover, but you can definitely do this with paper toweling. And I'm going to grab another piece just to test our purple and our orange and see. So another piece of paper towel, just stick it in there and see how, oh, that purple turned out pretty good. Might need a little more, I think a little more red in that one, or actually a little blue. That's right. I think I need another blue in there. Let's see. Let's try a blue. And this is just a trial and error when you're mixing colors. So we'll let that sit for a second, and Miss Karen's going to just try to get this other. Let's see how's that orange. Oh, that orange looks nice and bright. Great orange there. Perfect orange. Let's see. We stir that up and see if we can get a nice purple color. Let's see what we can get now. Let's just dip this corner in and see how that looks. Oh, that's a nice deeper purple. So you just kind of have to play with the colors, mixing them and see. The white paper towel is great. It gives you lets you know what you're doing or see what color you're having. So then you just take your paper. We're going to take the square one. I'm going to move these food colorings out of the way because we don't want any extra color in with our colors that we've already done. So your square one, what you want to do is dip it in 4 different colors. You can do it whatever colors you want. This is all up to you. I'm personally going to just dip it in the yellow, just a little bit of the corner, and see if I can then do I'm going to do red on the next corner, just maybe not so much. Oh, and I kind of missed a spot. So, well, that is okay. Let's see how this works. Now, I didn't leave it in there too long. But this paper is extremely wet and it's extremely fragile. I don't know if you can see the colors on that one. It is a little hard to see. So for right now, I'm going to just set that one out off to the side on a paper towel. You may have to let your paper sit um, before you actually unfold it. It might get too wet. So we're going to dip this in the purple. Miss Karen's going to dip it in the purple. And then I think this other corner in the orange. I barely tipped that one. I like a little white in there, and I think I'm going to do the blue. Blue and orange are complementary colors. So this paper is very delicate. The square seems pretty wet, so I'm going to still let that sit off to the side, but I think I can show you how we unfold the one that we just did, the triangle. I didn't dip it in there for too long. But you need to be very, very careful when you're opening this up because it is very, very fragile paper and it will tear quite easily. So you're just going to keep unfolding your paper. It's okay to leave it sit a little longer. If you want it to sit and wait and let the colors absorb, that is perfectly fine. If you want to dip a little less than I did, that is fine too. So then here is my square paper, and that turned out really nice. I love the colors on it. I think I accidentally dropped some stuff here on the table, so it didn't quite turn out as well as I like. But this, you need to let it completely dry. And then when we gather together, I'll show you how to fold it and we'll make it our cover for our journal page. And you want that to dry somewhere that is, you can leave it out on the table if you want. The only thing is you want to try to be very careful when you're unfolding it, not to mix too much of it because, or if you, like I did not clean my table off before I started unfolding, and that is not a good thing because you're going to be able to tell. But I can already tell this one is extremely wet. I don't have any white coloring left. And yes, it is extremely fragile. I'm having a really hard time getting this unfolded. So be patient. Be very, very patient with this paper. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Now, your paper, when you get it, it will actually have holes in it already. You're not going to be able to, obviously, that'll make it look a little bit different. But we want it to be easy for you guys to make the journal. So you really need to let this dry really well, and it just has to sit somewhere. I suggest maybe putting it on a paper towel or if your mom doesn't mind, a plate. But I would probably use paper towels because the paper towel will get that color on it, so you don't really want to do that. So then when we meet together, you should already have this prepared and ready to go. And like I said, the holes will be there, and then we will side sew a journal for you that you can write in. Can't wait to meet you and gather together to do our side sewn journals. Bye.